That's weird. That's weird. Kind of weirding me out.
You are a sad, strange little man.
Crazy. This is crazy. Isn't that weird?
That's weird, man.
It's strange.
What's up, campers? Welcome back to episode 199 of Camp Strange. I'm your camp counselor, Alex Tobin.
And I'm your other camp counselor, Edward King.
And we're back to bring the spooky, wacky, weird, strange, and horny.
Oh, that is a good one. There we go, baby.
But before we do, we got to catch you up on any of the weird news you may have missed. Oh, yeah, we missed an episode. Sorry about that, but we're back and we're horny, obviously. You can tell from the word of the day.
You guys can just blame my wife. She doesn't listen to this podcast. She hasn't for years. She probably listened like the first couple and then gave up. But
I've never had a significant other that actually like listens.
God,
to
no.
Like I hear enough of your ass.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, I get that.
Exactly.
No problem.
But yeah, she just keeps fucking booking things. I'm busy because of her, so blame her, not me.
Booking the county jail.
Not me. I'm too slippery. They can't catch me.
I crawl through the sewer
Too
system.
greasy.
They don't know about the sewer system. But before we do, we got to catch up on any of the weird news you may have missed. And I got one right here. As a 24-year-old mukbang celebrity in China dies during live stream, stomach found full of undigested food.
Oh,
okay,
God.
so
I hate most of like the internet stuff. I hate video game streamers. They ruin video games. They made it too competitive. It's not fun. I hate the vloggers. I hate them all. But mukbangs, just, I didn't know what that was for a long time. And then when I found out, I was just like, I hate watching people eat.
Yeah, I've you know what's funny? I don't know if it's because of my age, but I've also grown this like new hatred for certain things on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
You know who I fucking hate?
Who?
I hate YouTube drama channels.
Oh, yeah. The
They're
people
like-
just review things.
They're like, we're canceling this person today. And I'm like,
God.
dude, you have to, like, your entire livelihood is drama and trying to ruin other people's lives. And I just don't.
What's that?
There's nothing appealing.
What's that one guy? There's one guy that's like famous from it who is just insufferable. Fuck.
Philip DeFranco?
Not Philip DeFranco. It was.
I saw him like a month ago.
How was that? I mean, I can't put I know the name. I can't put a face to it.
He's really skinny now, and it looks weird.
No. Did he used?
Speaking of mukbang,
Did he not used to be?
I don't know. I think he fluctuated. Why am I talking about this?
Keemstar.
Who gives a shit?
Keemstar.
Oh, that guy.
That guy is the
guy's a
worst
fucking
human in the
loser.
world. Oh my.
That guy's a
God.
loser.
He's like 45 too.
And he's like, so, here's the thing. FaZe Clan, Skibbity Toilet Riz, Grimace Shake. And everyone's like, what?
It's just.
And he's like, yep.
Oh God, it's so bad. Just stop doing it.
Anyway, but yeah, mukbang, for those of you guys who don't know what mukbang is, I assume most people do, but it's when people like go and eat like huge amounts of, I don't think the food has to be gross, but like it's like ASMR adjacent, but there's probably also like,
I hate ASMR. God, that shit.
I fucking hate ASMR.
It makes me so uncomfortable. I hate it.
It has no inherent value to me. I don't get it. Like, people are like, it's calming. I'm like,
No.
here's somebody be like,
I hate it.
and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
People probably get paid millions, like
So
thousands,
much
maybe not
money.
millions, thousands of dollars. I should start doing that. Anyway, but yeah, so mukbang, it's just like, it's not always big people, like fat people, but it's like just people eating like huge amounts of food and eating in like kind of like a sloppy way where it like makes noises.
Oh,
There's probably
God.
There's an ASMR aspect to it. There's probably a sexual aspect to it, because I know that there's like people who pay like really fat like people to like eat food. Like, they'll send them food and they'll eat it and like film themselves. Fucking crazy. But this person, she was 24 years old in China. Her name is Pan Zhaoting, and she died during a live stream. And I think they're doing an autopsy. Or I think they did an autopsy. I don't know if they said the cause of death yet, but they think it's due to overeating, obviously. But
her first name was
shooting
Pan? P-A-N?
Yes.
That's ironic.
Was it? Yeah. Probably didn't cook any of this food. Let's not kid ourselves. They never probably touched a pan. It's most of the stuff. It's like mountains of Chick-fil-A or some shit like that. But they said she would engage in extreme eating challenges, eating nonstop for more than 10 hours on live stream every day, and she would attempt to consume over 10 kilograms of food. And I did the math.
Yeah.
Quick math. You know how many pounds that is?
200.
Okay, Dave. What the fuck? 22 pounds of food.
Oh.
Like, what?
That's literally taking my dog and eating the entire dog.
Oh, they ate the dog.
No boy should have to eat their own dog.
Oh, you better post that on the Instagram. Me after eating 22 pounds of food.
22 pounds of dog.
Parentheses 10 kilograms. But this woman was very large, as you probably tell from eating 22 pounds of food in a 10-hour time span. But I guess mukbang originated in South Korea, but yeah, it's got a huge following now. And there's one of the most popular guys is that Nick Avocado guy.
Oh yeah, he does.
That.
He does gay porn on top of it too.
Does he?
He does. I mean,
God, gotta get that.
He
gotta make that bad.
He's a gay man and he does porn with his partner. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Is
Is there a food element to that?
I don't know. I haven't done my research, but I have definitely encountered.
David.
I have.
Is there a food element?
I
to
don't.
it?
Not that I've seen. From what I've seen, have all been jump scares where it just throws him spreading his cheeks with his head turned around.
Wait, are you?
I'm dead.
you
I'm
joking?
dead serious. I've seen it. It's awful. I've seen like GIFs or videos where it's like something and it cuts to it. It's the worst thing ever. I've seen it. This has happened multiple times. My life is plagued by that man's asshole.
The thing is, I might do stuff like that if I'm guaranteed money. But the problem is with starting any endeavor like this, people are like, I'm making an OnlyFans. I'm like, I would be the guy who made an OnlyFans and put it all out there, and then like I would get like 7 subscribers, make no money, and the 7 people would all be from my hometown, and they would show my parents.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay.
I had a friend who was relatively famous who had a OnlyFans for a little bit, and he had brought it up once, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "All they do is cook. He just does cooking videos. You don't have to get naked on OnlyFans."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pan did. I mean, Pan didn't. Pan did. Maybe they did. Anyway. But yeah, so the crazy thing is, her parents were like, hey, you need to like fucking stop, because she went to the hospital one time, her first scare, because of gastric bleeding caused by overeating. So like her stomach was like ripped. And she was binge eating the next day after she got out of the hospital. And when they went in there for the autopsy, they found out that her stomach was, her abdomen was extremely deformed because of all this eating.
How do you not just throw up? You know?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I think people just like continually just slowly, I mean, you know what gastric bypass is, where they just basically like make your stomach smaller. I think the reason they have to do that is because you can eat so much where your stomach just gets larger and larger and larger, to the point where it's like you can fit all of that in there to a certain extent. Not 22 pounds, obviously, but I think she was like just actually fitting it in there, because slowly she would just increase the amount every single time.
Because I have an issue where I accidentally overfeed my invisible dogs, because I can't see all of them, you know, because they're invisible dogs. And
I can't tell.
I'll put like 4 bowls down, and I see it getting eaten, and I think, oh, the dogs are eating, and it's just one. It's one invisible dog eating all 4 bowls, and then he puking all over the ottoman.
And then all the other dogs on in the other room playing poker at the poker table.
There's cards floating all over the goddamn house.
You seen that famous painting? The dog playing poker at the poker
I
table.
live that painting. Who painted that? Tell me
Yeah.
who painted that dog painting poker?
The dog.
Who painted the dog?
Caesar
painting?
Milan.
Caesar Milan, stop painting the dogs.
Yeah, you can't control who in the bowl. I got one. I couldn't get through a doorway one time. I found out my fat ass dog stuck in the doorway, and I couldn't get through. Anyway, so yeah, she died. Sad, but you have to take these lessons as these moments as lessons. Don't do that. You only get one body, guys. You know, and you can do whatever you want with it, but try not to harm it. Don't overdrink. Don't overeat. Don't do something extreme where you're gonna hurt yourself. You know,
Unless it's like the X Games.
unless they give you a lot of money.
Give me a medal.
Unless you're Shaun White or Tony Hawk. Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's Mountain Dew, baby.
The Flying Tomato. Remember that was his nickname?
Vaguely.
Yeah, it was like a moment in time. I saw him too one time.
Okay, dude, we get it. You live in Hollywood.
Yes, they're all in Hollywood. He was standing next to Hollywood Spider-Man.
Oh. Which one's that?
That's where all the celebrities are. If you just if you walk down Hollywood Boulevard, you see a guy dressed as Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
He's usually hanging out with Willem Dafoe.
It's the cheapest costume you've ever seen.
Yeah, and that's where all the celebrities hang out.
Yeah.
They love those characters, so they just have to go hang out there. You catch Tom Hanks just putting his hands in the his handprints of the cement.
He goes, "Oh, my
He's like,
hands grew. Guys, look, my hands grew."
He's like doing like the notches, like how tall you are on your like door frame.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Ah, I'm Woody." And you're like, okay,
I'm definitely
yeah, we
not
get it, Tom.
involved.
Anyway, so you have a story? You have a story?
Yeah, Justin Timberlake is opening a sports bar with Tiger Woods.
No, are you serious?
Yeah.
That's not that. No, because they both got DUIs, right?
Well, I know Tiger's had a few. But yeah.
It's crazy.
It's in Scotland,
that the
though, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. It's crazy that the only backlash you really, if you're like a celebrity with a lot of money, the only backlash you really get from like DUIs is now you can't take like joyrides. Now your personal driver has to drive you.
Yeah.
And like you pay like a little fine or something. But do people go to like straight up prison for those? You have to like
DUIs?
hit something. Yeah.
You got to sober up
Yeah, like
before they
after-
let you go.
Well, after three of I'm sorry. No, prison, not jail. But like, I know if you get a certain number of, I don't know how DUIs work.
I think it's
haven't got
it's
one.
state by state.
Like in Arkansas, you get like 20 DUIs.
Yeah, you get like
It's
23 and a half.
You're eligible for governor.
Yes. No, I think most states it's like after the third one you lose your license for a year.
That's crazy that they were just like, yeah, the third one.
I
Like-
I don't know. I've never got one
I think
either.
it also has to do with like,
Don't drink and drive.
I think it also has to do with like how much you drank too. If like you ever seen that video of the guy and he goes, you just blew. He goes, your blood alcohol was 3 times the legal 3 times the legal limit, and he goes, 3 times the illegal minute, and you're like, no. He's like, fucking so fucked up.
Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, see guys, we're just like full of really good advice today.
Don't eat yourself
but
to
that's
death.
gonna
Don't drink and
be-
drive.
Don't eat your dog.
Don't eat the dog.
Don't eat the dog. But that seems almost like an ironic news story since they both are.
Yeah, the
Boozy.
thumbnail
But
the thumbnail was both their mugshots side by side.
Can't wait for Jimmy Fallon to jump in on that venture.
He has. I don't
What?
think he's ever gotten a DUI, has he? He's at least smart about his alcoholism.
Yeah, he hides it well.
Yes, not
He
well
de-
enough.
He
but,
he degloved himself.
yeah,
That was cool. Remember that?
that's usually what I do when I've been drinking. Just like Shia
Rip off
Shia
my
LaBeouf.
finger skin.
Yeah,
What?
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, I thought we were talking about degloving.
I guess he just cut his finger off.
Wait, Shia LaBeouf cut his finger off?
Yeah, he got shithoused in like Tokyo and drove to the premiere of Transformers like 1 or 2 and crashed his car and lost a finger.
No way.
Yeah. They had to like I think he had to lose a finger in like the next movie to like make sense that he was missing a finger.
Every movie from then on, like the Indiana Jones, are like,
Yeah.
Full Finger Freddy.
I could have sworn.
movie
Maybe
has,
I'm
like-
making that shit up, but I could have sworn.
You might be, but I don't know either. But that'd be really funny if they had to. It was like in his contract that they have to mention his missing finger every single movie.
Uh-oh.
Anyway,
I'm typing it in, and
While
it
you're
wasn't
doing research,
auto.
I'm
It
gonna
wasn't
jump to-
auto. It wasn't auto filling. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Keep going.
what does this say, Dave? What does this say, Dave? Okay.
Oh, his
so,
finger ain't got
we
no bone left in it.
Wait, what?
His finger ain't got no bone left in it.
He's got like a hot dog.
Yeah, he's got no bone left in it.
What happened? He didn't get degloved. He got fucking deboned.
No, he did it in West Hollywood, not Tokyo.
He got spatchcocked. They spatchcocked his finger.
Yeah, it says he flipped over his car in the wee hours of the morning in July in West Hollywood. I gotta pop up. Get out of here. But nearly 9 months later, the damage to LaBeouf's left hand so badly crushed that one finger has no bone left in it.
I don't even know what that means. How does that happen?
I don't know. He ran a red light. No bone left.
That's not what I'm questioning about that we got in a fucking car accident. How does the bone get removed?
The bone packed its bags. It took off.
I was going to say, just say you lost a finger. It's like, they got no bone. I'm just picturing like a limp fucking finger hanging from his hand now.
Yeah, he's got it. The actor says returning to the Transformer set with a specially designed prosthetic bandage that had to be rewritten into the plot. They got no bone.
I'm going to be like, if I ever see him, I'm going to be like that guy on the flight where I'm just so curious. I'm going to be like, I'm going to shake your hand. I want to shake this man's hand.
I want to shake this man's hand.
Anyway, okay, news story. Next news story. Florida man sneezes his intestines out of his body at restaurant.
Oh. That's how you know. That's how you know the
63-year-old.
food good. It's off the bone.
It's out the body and off the bone. You want boneless finger wings, chicken fingers? So a Florida man, of course, the Florida man. He's a 63-year-old guy. He had a history of prostate cancer, and they went in and they did a treatment. Oh, sorry, I'm boring myself. He did treatment for a post-cancer reoccurrence. Encountered various health complications, and he went under a cystectomy, a procedure to remove his urinary bladder. Wait, his whole bladder?
Gone.
Interesting.
Packed its bags
15
and
days.
left.
And this was 15 days before the incident, leaving him with a healing surgical wound at his abdomen. And the morning of the sneeze, the doctor said the healing was going well, and he removed the staples. Big
mistake. You leave those
He and his wife went out to breakfast at a dine. You let them grow or
Yeah.
into the skin.
Oh yeah.
Frankenstein style. And he's at the diner to celebrate. During breakfast, man sneezed forcefully, followed by coughing. Who peppered my eggs?
Yeah, too much pepper.
Who put the pepper on my eggs? He immediately noticed a wet sensation and pain in his lower abdomen. Looking down, he observed several loops of pink bowel protruding from his recent surgical site.
Fuck that.
Stunned, the man covered the protuberance with his shirt and considered driving himself to a hospital, but feared changing position would make the wound worse and called an ambulance instead. Paramedics showed up. They put a pad over the wound, gave the man painkillers, rushed him to the hospital, and they said he was totally stable. And they pushed that shit back in.
Stuffed it in with a stick.
You know. You know, they did it like a mummy sleeping bag. They're like bald fist shoving it into his wound. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But he's fine. He's fine. It's just a little sneeze. You ever sneezed while peeing at the urinal?
Oh, it's every man's fear.
Yeah, the guy next to me was not happy about it. Fucking splash zone.
Do you have another news story after this one?
No, I told you to.
Okay, because I'm gonna finish this with one that I'm not going to elaborate on. Dad tours home for sale, then returns with 4 kids and refuses to leave.
That's my next tactic.
See, honestly, reading it out loud, it read differently than it did in my head. I thought it was saying that he found 4 kids in the house for sale and refused to leave.
No, that man is a squatter.
Yeah,
And he's like, what are you gonna? He's like, you could remove me maybe, but like these 4 kids,
good luck.
You're gonna like manhandle some kids, like smart.
They're the strongest kids in
So
their grade.
smart. Honestly, biggest, strongest, fattest.
Not fastest,
densest.
not fastest, but
No,
This
well,
isn't-
they're fast too. You can't even catch them.
yeah, this is not a test of skill with speed. It's pure strength.
It could be. I would love to continue about this squatter, but we really have to talk about the real news story that I don't want to get too into,
yeah.
but we got to address it. Trump almost got assassinated.
Yeah.
I saw the video that like somebody did. I don't know how accurate it is, but the video of like the bullet trajectory
Oh, yeah.
and like his head movement.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh my God.
Crazy. Well, I read actually today.
That's what I always move in conversation.
Always moving. I read today that when like the FBI raided this guy's house, borderline kid, they like searched his laptop, and I guess that like he was playing on his plan was to assassinate Trump, get away, and then assassinate Biden.
Really?
Which I don't know how credible that source was, but crazy.
Yeah, I would have been like
Imagine a world where he pulled that off and he killed both of them. Like, what the fuck? What have we done?
okay, he must have been the fastest kid if he thought he was going to get away with that plan. I saw like where he was like positioned. I'm like, did you have like a helicopter? Like,
Well,
you know, like the thing in Batman where the plane flies by and he goes flying out of the building?
Yeah.
That's the only way I could see him getting away with that shit.
I saw another thing that said the kid walked like multiple miles with a 12-foot ladder, his rifle, and like 50 rounds, which doesn't make sense.
You've never had a hornet's nest on the side.
I also saw another thing that was saying that he like tried to join like a rifle club or something, but he was so bad at aiming that they didn't let him in. He was such a poor shot.
The weird thing is, like, the narrative is basically saying, like, oh, he's such a bad shot. But I'm like, not really. I mean, a head's a small target.
Yeah.
I mean,
fuck.
yeah. I have to go on record saying I don't support any kind of violence on anybody.
No.
So
we dislike Trump like everybody. Well, I mean, not everybody else, but we dislike Trump.
Don't kill people.
Yeah, don't fucking kill them.
Settle it with rhetoric and talking and voting, and don't fucking like that's the worst way to try to like beat somebody is by literally beating them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, come on, what are we doing?
Well, and then also, someone who was just there trying to support their presidential candidate got killed, which is awful.
Oh yeah, yeah. But like, you know, young people, like, you know, it's, as we all know, you look back 10 years at who you were 10 years ago and you go, I'm embarrassed. And it always should be like that. It should always be like that. You should always look back 10 years and be like, I'm embarrassed. So like, just if you heard half the shit, not that I was saying anything bad, but
go
just, like,
back to
dumb
episode
shit.
1.
Oh my God, I'm scared. I'm still scared. I'm scared when we finish this podcast of what I said.
Oh, always.
But yeah, it's just fucking crazy to see like how close he was, and like it just nicked his ear. Like what?
Yeah.
Like
Can't write
I need
that.
a full I need a full documentary on this, because you know there have been people that are saying like, how the fuck does this happen? Like there's conspiracy theories for
So
me,
many.
because they're like,
So many.
yeah, which like I just keep coming back to. It's like people are like, oh, his team allowed this to happen, and I go, you know what? I know just as much as you, so like maybe, but the logical part of my brain goes, the shitstorm that all of these Secret Service people, and obviously the kid got murdered.
Oh yeah.
You know, murdered. He died, but you know, it's justifiably murdered.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that there is so much backlash, even from just a failed assassination. If he did get killed, like there would be like these people, they can't even after this, they can't continue to have a future working the jobs that they do. So like, what's the end game? Like, oh, at least Trump's out of office. I'm like, I bet they like him. They work with him like every single day.
Yeah.
If you work with somebody every single day, you're gonna probably like some part of them.
Yeah.
I bet he's nice to them. I bet they're nice to him. People are like, they set this up to get him killed. I'm like, no. I'm just glad it wasn't a Democrat, because I'm just like, man, that would have like, that's like Civil War shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, at least it's like friendly fire on that aspect. It's like, I guess he's a registered Republican or something.
Yeah,
like,
he was a registered Republican, but I guess he also donated to Biden's campaign. So it's kind of like
what the fuck?
kind of like a confusing situation.
Well, you know, I hope people understand that this is a one-off and not how, you know, people feel. Of course, there's going to be some angry people out there that are just going to be like, yeah, he should have died. And then there's going to be people out there that's like, we should kill liberals now. It's like, but don't listen to any of that shit. It's always the crazies that are just the one-offs that get the most news coverage. Most people are completely normal, who have political opinions and disagree, but, you know, it ends with conversation, whatever, you know. Anyway, that's my talking about it. We
couldn't just pretend like that didn't happen, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's gonna be a moment, you know, in history.
Yeah. And we like to dunk on Trump because it's an easy target, but for like God's sakes, we are so fucked. No matter who wins, we're so fucked. They both suck so bad. Biden sucks so much. Trump sucks so much.
Like, I'm voting because everybody has to vote. Don't be one of those people who goes like, oh, they both suck, I'm not voting. Like, you have to vote. Yeah. Just vote. Vote.
Imaginary gun to your head. You just have to pick one.
Okay, don't.
Okay, that was not a good scenario. Spear to your throat. You have to pick one of them.
Dog on the plate. You gotta vote.
The butcher's knife is up high, and you gotta vote.
He said, "You want 22 pounds of meat?" But yeah, you have to vote. But yeah, I just it's so funny because I saw the picture that, you know, when he's like threw up his hand. I was like,
iconic. It's so cool.
I was like, fuck, that's such a good
so
picture,
cool.
dog.
I mean, him yelling at the crowd after it was so badass.
He knew what he was doing. Yeah. He was like, let me back up. Yeah. I need this.
You gotta.
I didn't know how long when he went down. I didn't know how long he was down there before he like threw up his hand. Yeah. And when I saw the actual footage, I was like, oh, he had time to be like photo op time. Yeah. And he's like, ooh, I'm bleeding a little bit. Oh, fuck yeah. This is good.
Yeah. And it was. Well, I was camping without service when this happened.
Oh, really?
And so we heard like murmurs around like, oh, someone tried to like assassinate Donald Trump like at the campsite. Like we heard that. We're like, there's no fucking way that actually happened.
Well, you always think it's like some guy who like got caught with a gun or some guy who had a knife near him. Yeah. But like you never think it's like somebody actually fired a bullet.
Yeah.
And like I also heard secondhand from somebody else, and they're like, Trump got shot. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So crazy.
So crazy. But this is 2024.
Things just
This
keep
is it, baby.
Things just keep getting better and better.
Wait till I run for president. You guys are gonna love it.
I was saying, the minimum requirement to run for president is 35 years old.
Dude, we're close.
Which means I'm
close.
under a year away. I just turned 34.
Okay.
So that means next election, you guys can vote for me. And I got no clue what I'm doing, but I am semi-coherent.
This is a good guy. That's all you really want at this point.
I've got
we need
your
a good
back.
guy.
How
about this?
We're gonna do a lot of photo ops of me planting trees.
His whole campaign is just going to be him doing like a 30-minute hit workout, and someone's like, "Wow,
kissing
this,
hands and shaking babies."
Yeah, and they're like, "This guy can move." I want to see Biden or Trump do 10 jumping jacks and watch their ass fall out of their
I don't
body.
know if I can do 10 jumping jacks right now.
Their intestines would fall out of their body. Anyway, all right. Should we get into these stories?
Yeah, we might as well.
All right. Now, David, I told you my word was horny today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, today we're going to talk about a little story that really gives new meaning to the phrase, "This is what zero blank does to a motherfucker." I don't want to be crude and crass.
No,
but
never,
never. So I didn't really write an intro, so I just really want to get into the story of Julian Buchwald. So the year was 2008, and 22-year-old logger Julian Buchwald was a devout Christian living in Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne. I'm from Melbourne. Doing the Beatles. What the fuck? I always do the Beatles like Liverpool. I'm like, oh, we're from Melbourne. And I know Liverpool people will be like, that's not Liverpool. But to me, it is. Yeah. But this guy, like I said, devout Christian, 22, living in Melbourne, and a logger too. But more importantly, he was a horny devout Christian, as most of them are. Like I said, as most of you know, when you're Christian, you can still sin because... what the fuck? It's like second sentence and I fucked it up already. As most of you know, when you're Christian, you can still sin because life just be too good to be concerned with hellfire sometimes. But when you're a devout Christian, the rules are a little more strict. One of the main tenets every devout Christian is aware of is that you must wait till marriage. to do the sideways hokey pokey, to slip on the devil's water slide, to put your penis in a vagina. Or butt.
Yeah.
Or, actually, no, butt's not sin.
Yeah, butt's good to go.
So, but if it's a man on a man or a woman on a woman, it's a sin. God, I hate religious rules. They're just so confusing.
So confusing.
I can't eat dairy with my meat, but I could do anal? I don't get this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think you could do butt stuff. Anyway, so that's what we're taking away from this, guys. Just remember. Which is, I'm going to stop there. Okay, so, well, lucky and unlucky for Julian, he already had a girlfriend who he desperately wanted to take to Funky Town. That's what I call sex.
Oh, okay.
I just tried to think of a bunch of innuendos, of course. But the problem was, they weren't married. Julian's girlfriend, Carolyn Watson, was a 17-year-old devout Christian. Alarm. He's 22. They've been dating for a couple of years. She was definitely 15 when they met. Like, what the fuck?
What year is
not
this?
Good. 2008?
Yeah, that's not good.
What year would have been good?
I don't know.
You're like, oh, it was 2002.
Yeah, John, twos. That's good. That's fine.
Oh wait, What's the legal age in Australia?
I think it's lower. I think it's like weirdly low.
18.
Oh,
Wait, is it 16 or 8?
I thought it
Wait.
was like 16.
It says, although the legal age of consent throughout Australia is either 16 or 17 of age, legislation in the Australian Capital Territory, New South Wales, Northern Territory, South Australia, Victoria, whatever. I think they kind of make it 18. Anyway, this is weird. I think different territories, states are like that too.
Well, yeah, I think New York it's like 17.
Really?
Yeah, ask Jerry Seinfeld.
I don't. Wait, what's the age of consent in Melbourne? Where the Beatles are from? Melbourne. What? Wait, what? In Victoria, Australia, the age of consent for consensual sex is 16 years old, but there are some exceptions. A person aged 12 to 16 can consent to sexual activity with someone who is no more than 2 years older than them. Wait, okay, now I'm doing quick
So
math.
a 16-year-old could have sex with a 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And a 12-year-old could have sex with a
14-year-old.
14-year-old.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Which I think if you're under 18, you're kind of allowed to hook up with anyone under 18, and if you're over 18,
Oh, you think a 2-year-old could have sex with a 17-year-old now?
Okay, don't fool.
You said it. I don't know.
That's not what I
don't know
meant.
what you want from me. You said it.
You. Okay, 18-year-old could have sex with 95-year-old. I'm also on that train.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like in the sexually active, like I think like 14, like you said, the 12 is crazy. That's insane, right?
Yeah.
What the
That's
fuck?
not even a teenager yet,
I don't even think I got Bronner's then.
Sorry? Broners?
What are they called?
Oh, broners.
Where your penis gets parred.
Yeah, when your pingus stands up.
When your penis gets stands attention.
Yeah.
Serves.
When your pingus salutes.
It stands for the Pledge of Allegiance. You're doing like fucking what's his name? Brule.
Yeah.
Steve
Pretty
Brule. Anyway, let's get back to this. I think he was still out of his jurisdiction because he was, like I said, 22. She was 17. She was 15. He was still 20. Not good.
No, not good.
But he's a logger. He country folk. They don't fucking care. So, of course, he wanted to get married, and she was 17, devout Christian, high school student who had been dating for 2 years, like I said, and Julian wanted to marry the girl ASAP. But luckily for Carolyn, she was smart enough to want to focus on finishing high school before she did anything else. So their plans got put on hold for another year. She needed to be 18, and, that's when she wanted to get married and figure it all out, which is honestly the smartest idea in terms of marriage, because high school sweethearts, I don't know, man. People change a lot from when you're in high school. I changed a lot in the past year, man.
Yeah. I went into that cocoon.
I started started writing shit on my walls and punching holes.
I can see that.
Making my own nails.
Yeah, I started making my own kombucha, and I started writing words backwards.
I use crystal deodorant now. Started writing my words backwards. But the problem was, as David knows, horny doesn't go away because of scheduling conflicts.
No.
Horny grows stronger.
Much stronger.
But for the time being, Julian said it was all right to wait. He would wait, but in the meantime, they should go on a romantic picnic to the eastern Australian countryside. Oh, just to wait.
Lovely.
So Julian told his parents that he wanted to take Carolyn out to their sprawling countryside property to plant trees and walk to a waterfall. Innuendos? I'm not sure. And his parents thought nothing of it since their son was such a sweet little angel. Carolyn also thought nothing of it, trusting her boyfriend of 2 years. So they were off driving out through the countryside. What no one knew, though, was that Julian had driven to the property earlier that morning in order to hide gloves, a balaclava, a jacket, a yellow blanket, ropes, duct tape, and military pants.
His tools.
Now, I know where you think that his tools.
Yeah, he was hiding his
needs
tools. He needs his tools.
Fetish shit. So I just want to tell you right now, this is not a trigger warning.
Okay.
So don't worry. Nothing bad is going to happen in the sense that you probably think it's going to happen.
Okay.
It's more,
I don't
funny
know,
and
but
unfortunate,
if you're saying that okay.
There's no assault of any nature, so don't worry. So actually,
there's a
imaginary
lot of assault. Sorry, guys, I mixed that up.
Oh wait, what did I say?
Yeah,
this
I
is bad.
got it backwards. I keep writing things down backwards. I fucked it up.
I drank the kombucha. So, honey, get my crystal deodorant. So, as they drove out to the property, Julian said he spotted an animal on the side of the road. I guess he went and put a pelt out in the brush.
He probably didn't have to do
Yeah.
that.
I know. I think he was like, I'm
not
making
going
the best
down for
story
this. I'm not getting caught.
Yeah. I'm not going down. I'm going Biden next after this. So I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna get away.
Slowly.
So he said he spotted an animal on the side of the road. So he stopped the car and left Carolyn inside the vehicle. No, Julian did not ravenously have sex with the animal. But he did disappear into the woods before a man in a mask and hunting clothes came out of the bush, tying, blindfolding, and stripping Carolyn while throwing her in the back seat of the car. The man drove for 6 hours out to Alpine National Park before stopping at Buchan Headwaters Wilderness Area. When he finally arrived, the masked man parked the car about 20 meters away before digging a hole. Carolyn thought she was about to get raped, murdered, and buried alive. But I guess murdered and buried alive are contradictory. Murdered and buried. But what was actually happening was that the masked man was burying evidence. You see, big spoiler, the masked man was Julian.
What?
Who had... You gonna be shitting me. He was digging a hole because he had cut off his own clothes at this point, and he was burying them. And he tied himself up as he began to call in a faint voice that he was a victim too. So he parked the car, took her out, drove the car away 20 meters away, parked it, walked back a good distance away, and then crawled on the floor naked, tied up, and was like, "Hey, I'm also tied up." They dropped me off just a little further away, and so he also had a cut on his head by accident during the process, and he decided to keep the blood on him to sell the story, or for a good photo op, you know. So when Carolyn saw him, though, she said he looked like Dracula. Just thought that was a weird little tidbit. Boy been looking like a Dracula.
He was half bat.
I'm like, bitch, you never seen Dracula. In real life, are you kidding me? He doesn't live in Australia. Actually, he might.
Lying.
So, he urged her. Now they're both naked, and they're both untied now, and they're in the middle of nowhere. They quote unquote don't know where they are, and there's no car. He urged her to grab what she could and run. And shoving a sleeping bag he claimed the kidnappers had dropped into her arms. She's like, "Look, they dropped a sleeping bag." So they took that and they plunged into the freezing river and kept going to try to escape the possibly nearby kidnappers who they thought were going to come back and murder them.
Yeah.
She soon found she was carrying a sleeping bag, She soon found she was carrying a sleeping bag cover containing a toothbrush, half a pillowcase filled with filled with desiccated coconut. I don't know what that is. What's desiccated coconut? Is that just dried coconut?
I don't know. I was just like thinking like a coconut
It's-
that had been beaten to shit with a hammer.
It's dehydrated coconut kernels. So
Okay.
it's what you use in like baking.
Yeah.
It's not a coconut beating the shit out of.
Okay. You asked me,
uh,
man. I don't know.
You're right. I didn't
This
know
is your
either.
story.
So she had toothbrush, half pillowcase filled with desiccated coconut. That's too much coconut.
Way too much coconut.
Half a pillowcase?
Way too much coconut.
When you're I'm gonna make a meme. When you're reading the ingredients and they call for half a pillowcase of coconut.
That's just a photo of Johnny Depp in the movie Mordecai.
With this curly mustache.
You ever seen that?
No.
You ever seen that really bad meme?
It's the guy tied to the bed in Seven.
The really bad meme that was like posted by like the official Instagram of the movie Mordecai.
Yeah,
and it was like
it's horrible.
It's like when it's Friday, and it's like a screenshot from the movie of a picture of Johnny Depp. Like
he has no expression.
no expression.
It's like when people were first figuring out social media.
Yeah, it's so bad.
I listened to a podcast and they had like a big talk about Mordecai actually, so I am actually aware of that marketing. So she had coconut. Julian had a knife, a shovel, and 1 jar each of peanut butter and tahini.
Oh.
Huh. Food from their picnic basket because they're going on a picnic. He's like, oh, let's go on a romantic picnic. And like, honey, what'd you bring? And he's like, half a pillowcase of coconut, tahini, and peanut butter.
That sounds like how my mom packs. She's gonna hear that. She's the only person who listens to this fucking thing.
Your mom does listen. She sends me very nice messages. We love you, Chody.
Oh, God.
So Julian told Holly, Holly? Who the fuck is Holly? Who is that?
Is that not the girl?
Why'd I write Holly?
What's the girl's name?
Oh, I pulled from 2 different articles about this, and one guy kept using a pseudonym because he didn't want to use her real name.
So that's why you don't
okay.
copy and paste.
Not me. I didn't actually.
Mhm.
I read these, but
Yeah.
I pasted some parts.
Uh-huh.
Shut the fuck up. I wrote most of these. All my jokes are mine, okay? And I'm outing this woman. I'm using her real name.
True journalism.
I have no integrity. This was 2008. This is when it was okay
Yeah.
to have this kind of relationship, as David would put it. Oh no, it's not okay.
No.
in 2008.
If it starts
2007.
if it starts with a 2, it's not okay.
Okay, 99 was the last year. Y2K fucked up a lot of shit.
It really
for me.
did.
I was 2 years old, looking at all these 17-year-olds just trying to get laid.
Yeah.
None of them, right after 99,
Yeah.
none of them would touch me. I was the sexiest toddler.
Were you 2 years old in 1999?
Yeah, how old do you think I am?
I don't fucking know anymore.
No, I was born in 92. I'm
That's what I
32.
thought.
So, Julian told Carolyn he bravely fought 2 kidnappers until they smashed him in the head with a metal rod, then stuffed him in the trunk. In Australia, they call it the boot,
Yeah.
leaving him unconscious and vomiting blood. Okay.
Dramatic.
Was he just like vomiting blood? And then he was like, yeah, it's from the kidnappers.
Dude,
She's
he
like,
was so fucking nervous, man.
He probably was. He thought he was about to get laid.
He just did a bunch of
he was
mukbangs
nervous.
before this.
You know how much gets for the other half of the pillowcase of coconut went? His stomach was fucking expanded. Okay. He also told her that the kidnappers were some sort of satanic cult. You know how Christians be.
It's an easy out.
Always blaming Satan. Ever see I'm not gonna, no spoilers. I saw a movie recently and there's a heavy Satan tie-in, and I'm not gonna say it on pod just in case anybody's gonna watch it, but it was a good movie. Anyway, so for the next week I can't tell you.
Okay.
If you guess it, I'll say something.
Did you go see Longlegs?
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, maybe I did.
I don't know anything about that goddamn movie. I just know that people are freaking out about it.
It's good. It's I thought it was good. I thought the story could have been a little stronger, but it took a big left turn.
I recently watched Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
I did too. Like a month ago. I liked
last
it.
week. I didn't think it was great, but there was one cameo in the very end that I lost my fucking mind when I saw him walk in.
Me
I was like, no,
too.
and he had one line, and I was just like, no fucking way. Why is he in this movie?
Because it's Conor O'Malley,
Yes.
and the best thing about it is Conor O'Malley's like in his late 30s now,
So old,
mid to
Well,
late
okay,
30s,
not so old,
and all
but
these girls. Well, no, it's just
compared
funny
to the
because
rest
compared
of
to
the
these
cast.
girls, they're all like in their
yeah.
they're like, but also what's his name, the Elvish guy,
Yeah,
the guy
he's like 45, but that was like the point of his character.
Yeah, he's like ex-military, or no, he's ex-vet,
Mm-hmm.
or he is a vet.
All right, now you're just
Not a vet.
spoiling things.
Shut the fuck up. That movie's been out for like years.
That's true.
Anyway, so for the next week, they stumbled barefoot and naked around the bush
You said
to
next
avoid
weeks?
their kid.
Like multiple weeks.
The next week,
Okay, it's still
like 7 days. Yeah,
still
yeah, they're doing the Naked and Afraid challenge right now.
love that show. Oh my god, I love that show.
Just mosquito bites on the butt.
I grew up with one of the girls who does that all the time.
Whoa,
she's like
really?
one of the,
That's like for fun.
She's one of the reoccurring like people in that show.
I mean, you're from Oregon. I feel like they're all from Oregon.
Shout out Sarah.
Shout out Sarah. So yeah, they're walking around for like a week. The fleeing couple took the most rugged routes to deter the non-existent pursuers. Holy shit! You think like at one point during like their hike up like this crazy mountain through like a thorn bush, he's like, when am I gonna tell her that the kidnappers are probably not gonna like go this? I mean, you know what I mean? It's like,
They're,
oh
like,
no, I don't
eating
think they're
a
gonna go
raw
this
squirrel.
far.
And he's just like,
Yeah.
I need to come clean.
She's like, she's like, no, they're definitely gonna come after us if we don't go through this prickly bush. And he's like, I don't think they're gonna follow us through. I think we could go that way. We'll be safe. And she's like, no.
Yeah.
He's like, let's just take the road for like a little bit. Come on. She's like, So one night, this is where his plan was going to pay off, because one night he suggested they have sex to keep warm. You gotta keep warm.
Is this what famous Limp Bizkit song Nookie is written about?
That I think that inspired this.
Oh, you know what? That
I
song
think
came
Nookie
out.
came
I
out-
was thinking, yeah, it was like 1996 or something.
Yeah, that was when it was okay.
Yeah, that was when it was, green light, good to go.
So he's like, let's have sex, keep warm. And guess what? She refused. And on night 4, he said, as they were likely to perish in the cold, that they should marry in the eyes of God before they died. And that meant doing the fuck.
Nookie came out in 1999, by the way.
Yep, see, that was okay.
Yeah.
Again, she refused, saying her parents would not approve, No one wants to find a corpse and then they're also like, oh, she had sex too.
Filled up.
No, yeah. They're like, she's filled up with that and desiccated coconut. So much desiccated. Oh, the lab says some would put this measurement as half a pillowcase full. If I had to put... We don't do pounds around here.
No.
So, again, she refused, like I said, saying her parents would not approve. This is, yeah, so that's where he's like, the moment, that's like when you go on a really nice vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You're having a great time. And then all of a sudden, you get into this big, huge fucking fight. And you're like, this was all for nothing.
Yeah.
The trip is ruined.
Yeah.
So this guy... He bet it all on black, and it just didn't pay off.
Yeah.
So realizing his plan was shot, he returned to the dumping point where they got dumped. I don't know what they did for 6 days. Did they just walk around in a fucking circle?
Which,
Like, how
doing
did they-
that in, the wilderness in Australia is not easy.
Yeah, it's probably winter time too, because they kept talking about how cold it was. I think winter might have been easier than summer. Summer might have been kind of brutal out there. But He went back to where they got dumped, and he dug up the damaged clothes after claiming he had stumbled across the kidnapper's stash hole. He's like, "Oh, look. Here's
Look at all this loose soil. I better dig it up with the shovel sitting right here."
Hey, it's our clothes. That's cool. There's also more coconut in here. So now, semi-dressed, they walked out of the bush to be picked up by a passing farmer. When they finally were found and told police, the police found the whole story suspicious, especially finding a cryptic, satanic letter in Julian's room. And he claimed that the cult had sent it to him days prior, but the cops didn't buy it. It was just like a cryptic, like zodiac, just like a bunch of symbols and shit.
Yeah.
And naturally, it didn't take long for the police to break down this ridiculous story, and Julian was charged with kidnapping and making a false report because Julian was arrested soon after having confessed the entire thing.
No assault? No assault added on to that or anything?
I don't think he actually assaulted anybody. I don't know what assault falls under. He definitely tied her up.
Yeah, like attacking her and binding her. Like that's got to be.
Well, I think restraining somebody is different than assault. Okay. Like if you tie somebody up, it's still not great.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean. It's probably some charge. It's that's kidnapping. Which I think is worse than assault.
Okay.
If you tie anybody up, it might be kidnapping. Honestly. But
I didn't hear that. La 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 la! I didn't hear that.
Look at this guy! I told you this guy was horny.
I got the tools.
I need a bedpost. We need a bedpost in our room. Please get a bed with bedposts. Anyways, get one of those medieval slats where you put your arms and head in it.
Oh, what was that called? I found out what that was called recently. I thought I said that last episode.
I know. Oh. I fucking forget too. It's called like a. Not Punch and Judy. That's the doll thing.
I felt like it was like weirdly like political, like a governor.
Head and hands wooden medieval punishment thing. A pillory.
Ah, pillory. Yeah, that's government.
Stocks and pillory. Put them in the stocks. Anyway.
There you go.
Cool.
Everybody learned something again.
We all learned something. You just got to type in the most obscure shit to Google, and they'll know exactly what you're saying. So, he was arrested, but he made bail soon after and went back home with his parents to await trial. That's an awkward car ride home. But Julian was too horny for prison, so he ran. Julian, a blue-eyed blonde, obtained a false passport, dyed his hair jet black, and covered himself in more fake tan as he jumped on a flight to India. Okay.
Did he do a bad accent?
You know what? I don't know.
Did he do really really like untasteful accent?
He might have, but he I don't think his disguise was that good because
my rules, my life. That's all he said the whole time on the way home.
Someone's like, "This is legit."
Yeah,
this is legit. Or that guy like jumping off the fucking the roof and landing on his like neck and back, and then he's like in the hospital.
I still think I still think that was fake. I think that's.
I don't know. I saw another video of him like in a bed, and he had like a pee bag.
We all have beds. Well, I hope we all have beds.
Yeah. His is one of those rickety hospital beds, though.
Those are
scary
cheaper
ones. You would like them. You could definitely tie somebody to those.
Yeah. Tie myself up so I can sleep. For once.
I eat all the cookies at night if I don't tie myself up in a shrink jacket.
You know I don't like cookies.
I think this guy, he could have like went for like just a different. I don't think you don't need to look Indian to go to India. I think that was his biggest mistake.
Well, I'm kidding. Yeah.
No, he should have just like shaved his head and not worn brown face, and he probably looked more suspicious. As like, this is clearly
the blue eyes gotta be. I hope he had sunnies on.
Yeah, this is clearly a devout Christian in brown face. Okay, But it was 2008, so it was still a comedy bit then. Unfortunately for him, Julian was arrested in Singapore, and once apprehended, he was sent back to Australia, where he was sentenced to 5 to 7 years. I couldn't really find the number. It kept changing.
Yeah.
Couple years, plus an additional 6 months for trying to skip town to India thing. But Australian authorities didn't stop there. You see, Julian moved to Australia when he was from Germany when he was born. He was like 1 year old. This meant that Julian was not in fact a citizen of Australia, but instead Germany. So he, like, after his court thing and everything got figured out, I think even after like he served his time, he probably got out in a couple of years for like good behavior and stuff like that. But after he got out, they still wanted to punish him, so they deported him back to the country he knew no one in and did not speak the language.
Woof.
So
That's a
he
good
landed
one.
back in Germany, yeah. But today, Julian is a sex therapist. I'm just kidding. Imagine. No, I could not find anything about him, actually. But I think the Germans ate him or something is my
possible.
sentence. They ate Julian. They thought he was cooked because all of his brown makeup. Bronzed god. So that's that story of Julian, the sex pest.
Right on.
I just love how it's like the whole story was basically asking to have sex with your girlfriend and her going no, and then putting both of you in like the worst possible position and then asking again
Out
and
in
her
the
being
elements.
like no, and then just being like, okay, I want to stop playing pretend. And then he goes home and goes to prison. I'm like, dude,
He definitely
like,
had sex
what?
there, so.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, no, but.
Good. No, but.
No,
but. Yep, still a virgin.
Oh, God. All
And the
right.
best sex therapist I've ever talked to. I'm like, I think the spark's gone. He's like, have you tried kidnapping her?
Yeah. Put her in the elements, you know.
Yeah.
Exposure will get them going.
Nothing makes me hornier than a really cold sunrise on rocks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Love it. Anyway, okay.
All right, Tobin. Let me start this off with asking you, if you were able to time travel, where and when would you go?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would probably say feudal Japan.
Okay.
It just seems like
they would boil you the second they saw
no,
you.
they couldn't catch me. I would be jumping through their paper walls.
I just like imagined like the 2006 Hulk movie when he's like running through shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's like I'm the Juggernaut, bitch, and they'd be like, we don't know who that is yet.
see,
They
I
would
think
know
with
in the
like,
future.
I think with no rules, I think I would go in the future.
Oh wait, you're time traveling. You can't time travel to the future.
Why not?
I know that you can in Back to the Future, but I just don't think time travel works like that.
Why not? If it works one way, it goes the other way.
I'm not going to get into it. I could talk about this all day.
All right.
baby.
Well, you might find out.
You
in
might
this
be
story
right.
You're
You might-
wrong.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I mean, maybe there's consecutive me's all living like a year apart from each other throughout
yeah.
time. So like
Seconds
I have
apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one big flip book.
We all are. Well, if you haven't figured it out, today we are going to talk about a real time traveler. Ooh.
Whoa. Is his name Benny?
His name is not Benny.
Okay.
So this story, did you do a story about a time traveler named Benny?
No. Just guessed.
So this story takes us back to the year 2006.
Oh, fuck. Still, we
What
couldn't.
you might find in this story, time is irrelevant. So yeah, 2006 in the city of Kyiv in the Ukraine, which I think with everything going on in the world, everybody knows where Kyiv is.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. So Ukrainian people couldn't help but notice a young man who was walking around the city acting bizarre, being blown away by modern buildings, technology, and vehicles, just acting as if he's never seen anything before. It should be also noted that this young man was dressed in clothes from a faraway time, carrying an old camera with him. Eventually, the police were notified. What? Yeah. Local.
The only guy I'm picturing right now is World of Shirts, just being like, New York, concrete jungle. Like,
let's not bring him up. It's bad PR for us.
I'm picturing that though in his sailor hat. They're like, this strange man wears attire from a different land.
So eventually, the police were notified of the man They were notified of a man having a mental breakdown, and they dispatched to investigate the situation. Huh?
Oh, it was me.
Yeah. When they approached the man, he was scared but not violent by any means, just confused, and the group of him and the police had a conversation, and the police requested to see the man's ID, which he provided. The man's name was Sergei Ponomarenko, but his name was not the first thing they noticed. It was the fact that his identification came from a country that did not exist anymore, the USSR.
Whoa.
So now for our listeners who are unaware, the Ukraine used to be a part of the Soviet Union, but in 2006, which I don't think that's right. I think I typed the wrong date. I think it was 1991. Oh, okay. I see.
USSR
Sorry,
broke up?
I wrote this story a while ago. But in 2006, the Soviet Union had been dissolved since December 26th, 1991. Which, of course, was possible for someone to have one of these IDs, but it wouldn't be someone who looked like they were in their 20s. After seeing that his ID was from the USSR, they looked at his birthday, which said 1932. Making this 20-year-old something look 20-something-year-old man actually 74 at the time.
He has creams.
So many creams. Those Ukrainian creams are crazy. Ukrainian creams. Say it.
Daddy cream. Ukrainian daddy cream. Ukrainian daddy creams.
It's good.
You should
warm up in the morning.
You should find some new creams.
Hey, I don't need the creams. I'm cream free. I'm good.
No more daddy's cream?
I've been off the cream for a long time.
What happened? Is it only during the winter time you need the cream?
I have an idea that I was allergic to the lake that we were living at during quarantine. Something in the water. Because as soon as we moved from Montana, my skin never had issues again.
No fucking way.
Yeah. I haven't been on the cream since 2021.
Is that the last time you took a shower?
Yeah.
It's the water in general, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I don't drink water. I don't bathe in it. I don't even water my garden in it,
You should move away from Oregon.
I should move away from society.
Arizona seems like the place for you.
No.
You'd be like that guy who smokes his own shit. Remember that guy?
Yeah, I could be like him. Lived to be 96.
I think he has a phobia of water. Probably has rabies.
Probably, yeah. So the police matched the photo on the ID to the man, and they grew very confused. The next logical thing for the police to do was to ask Sergei what day it was. And Sergei answered April 23rd, 1958. This is when the police looked at each other and decided they needed a little more further questioning, inviting Sergei to come with them to answer some, questions with a professional.
To be fair, I always say the wrong date too, just to scare people.
But are you off 40 years?
Mm-hmm. I'm usually off more
years?
than that.
Yeah.
I usually say 1945,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then I tell them I was in the war, and then they go, "Oh yeah," and I go, "I was in the war."
Oh, I see where you're going.
And then they get really fucking scared.
Depending on
And I
what
start
state you're in.
chasing 'em. They put me on their shoulders.
So Sergei ends up in the care of Dr. Pablo Krudrikov, which, yeah, I skipped a little part there. The police contacted.
That's what happens when you copy and paste.
No.
Yes.
I just scrolled too far. So the police contacted a mental hospital to further analyze the strange man. Sergei ends up in the care of Dr. Pablo Kudrikov, who...
They got a Pablo over there?
Oh, they got Pablos everywhere, baby.
Oh, I want one.
So Doc Daddy Pablo is given the rundown on the situation and decides the best way to get answers is to play along with the idea that the young man was actually born in 1932. So, leaning into this idea that Sergei had in fact time traveled from 1958 to 2006, Doc Pob asks Sergei how he ended up 50 years in the future. Sergei said, it was daytime and I wanted to go for a walk in the city. I took my camera, but when I left my house, I saw a strange object that had a bell shape. And it was very strange, and it was flying in a strange way. It is difficult to explain what I was seeing. It might be better to look at the photos from my camera.
I want them developed.
The doctor
was it a digital camera? It's a film camera.
Oh yeah. So
I'm guessing the year the camera matched the 50s.
Well, we're getting into it. The doctor was very intrigued by that last little tidbit. I mean, like, how could you not be like, oh, UFO got you? Oh, you have photos of it.
Taco Bell got him.
So Doc Pob requested to see the camera, which I would assume was taken away with his belongings before being placed in the mental hospital. And the doctor was absolutely blown away when he saw the camera. The camera was a rare Yoshima Flex. Now, some people, they would probably think it was just like a retro-looking camera, but Dr. Pablo was a hobbyist photographer in his spare time and knew that this was a very rare camera, especially in 2006. The thing was like practically brand new.
I'm just picturing the doctor being like, "Yo, you got a Yoshima Flex?" And he's like,
"How much you want for it?"
He's like, "Yeah, I take pictures in my downtime." He's like, "Dude, you're my doctor, please." I'm like, "I'm very scared right now." And he's like, "Yeah, what's your lighting aspect ratio? What's your ISO on this? What do you shoot 4x3?" You're like, "Dude, get the fuck away from me."
So yeah, the camera was in far better condition that one would be that had, lived through that extended period of time.
Yeah.
Not only was the camera in such good shape, there was the fact that the camera used film that had not been in production since the 70s.
I've said this because all this is like very good evidence, but the logical part of my brain keeps going, what if he found a camera that was like half-used film and it was from the 50s and he checked in, he knew it was... I was like, we just need to start tattooing babies the year they were born, right when they fucking come out.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom of the foot, year you were born.
Not on the forearm?
I feel like that's a little bit too close to the war I was in, and I don't like that. I don't like the war anymore.
So, seeing the uniqueness of the camera, the doctor had to make a special call to a professional photographer, Vadim Poizner, to develop the unique film.
What a name.
I know, it's a good one. So, Vadim got the film out and could see from the real info that the roll of film was manufactured in 1956, but it was in perfect condition.
Mm-hmm.
Vadim went ahead and developed the film, and this is when things got even more strange. What Vadim found were photos of Kiev but they were clearly from like a different time. Buildings that did not exist anymore were featured. All of the clothes that the people were wearing, the types of cars, the street signs, everything was from the 50s.
I will buy this story. I will. I'm just playing skeptic. I'm playing devil's advocate. If he is in one of those pictures.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think he found his fucking grandfather's camera.
Okay.
And he knew that there's pictures taken on it that never got developed.
Okay. So to top it all
is he in a
off,
picture?
there were even photos of Sergei and his girlfriend. And Sergei was even wearing the exact same clothes he was found in 2006.
Oh, shit. In front of an old building that's not there anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm listening, Sergei.
This is all shocking, but there still begs the question. What was the last photo on the roll?
Dick.
The last photo on the roll featured a bell-shaped UFO in the sky.
Whoa, he got transported from snapping a pic of it?
When the doctor asked Sergei about the UFO, Sergei said, "Now are you convinced that I told the truth? So far do not understand what this object is and how something like that happened to me at the same moment I took the picture. After I took the picture, I looked down at my camera and I showed up in this year."
Whoa, that's a new. You don't usually time travel has to be like I stepped into a room or I touched a thing. Yeah, I like the idea of it being a picture. Whoa.
So Doc Bob, being a man open to science, came up with the idea that if Sergei was in fact abducted by a UFO, by possible alien technology, it could be possible that they had flown across the universe at the speed of light and decided to bring him back within a split second. This being a possibility heavily leans on Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. Sergei would have experienced a time dilation, meaning that time would have barely passed for him, but on Earth, it could have kept moving. So only a few seconds would have been like 50 years in progress, just like the movie Interstellar.
Oh shit! So he didn't technically time travel in the sense that we think of time travel.
Yeah.
He was basically kidnapped, and physics played a role in almost freezing him in time while everything else continued to move on. Whoa!
Yeah. So after Sergei and the doctor talked about what could have happened, Sergei slowly and sadly walked back to his room and was never seen again.
Wait, what?
The hospital security system caught Sergei entering his room, but never showed him leave. This room had one door, and the windows had bars covering them. There was nowhere for him to run away, but come morning, he was just gone.
The fuck?
No means of escape was discovered. The next day, they tried to figure out where the hell he went, and it is still a mystery to this day. And the police were baffled and continued to research the story and found that there was a Sergei Ponomarenko who was reported missing in 1996. The police were also able to track down Sergei's old girlfriend from the photos, who was in her 70s at this point, and
Whoa.
She confirmed with police that he had gone missing that day in 1956. But it gets way weirder after this. His elderly, at the time, girlfriend, who also told the police that Sergei had returned to Kyiv a few days later, the same amount of time that he had spent in 2006, but that he had disappeared again in the 70s, and she never physically saw him again.
Whoa, so he was just like popping back in and out.
He was blipping all around.
What the fuck?
But we're still going.
Have you read Slaughterhouse 5?
Huh?
Have you read Slaughterhouse 5?
God, when I was young.
Oh. It's about a man unstuck in time. I think you should read it. It's a good one. It's
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of this a little bit. It's not fully, but it's about a man jumping to like different parts in his life, and as he's like old and young and kidnapped by aliens. It's really good. Kurt Vonnegut's awesome.
But we're still going because although she said she never saw him again, she did say that she received a photograph in the mail attached with a note from Sergei saying that the photo was from 2050.
Whoa! Oh, I need to see it.
The photo shows a man who appears to be a much older Sergei, now with a delicious mustache. Standing, Mordecai, baby. Standing with Kiev's skyline behind him, but it is full of skyscrapers, and lots of skyscrapers which do not exist even till today.
Whoa! I don't want to be like the dark, but like Kiev getting blown up. Like, do you think that rebuilding
yeah,
gonna be skyscrapers?
Could be.
Holy shit!
So in his note on the back of the photograph, he said that he would be back to her soon, but that never happened.
Because this was 2006 and she was 70.
Well, I think she said, what did it say? She got a letter from him. It didn't say what year she got the letter. She said the last time she saw him was the 70s, and then he left again, and then sometime down the road she got the photo from him.
No, I just mean like she's probably still not alive today, because I was like, oh, Sergei might show up any second now, but she would have to. She might be in her 90s.
Could be. Yeah.
True. Whoa. What an interesting time travel tale. Very different than typical one, you know? No machine needed.
No
Snap
machine.
pic.
Well, maybe. I mean,
snap a pic of.
The way I see it is that like the UFO saw that he spotted them, and then whatever technology they had, like knocked him out, and then
like,
took
we're
him
gonna
up.
we're gonna ruin your life for the next however many years.
Next 100 years.
You're like Jesus Christ. But what a ride, you know?
Oh yeah, baby.
Well, that's an interesting question. I feel like sorry, a little side tangent, but there's like some movie I watched. I can't really remember what it is, but it's like somebody's like living their they're like living their life, and then like an alien comes down and goes like, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to like, do you want to come with me and explore the universe? You'll see things that like no human has ever seen, and blah 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 blah. Or you can go back to living your like kind of like boring life on Earth, and the person chooses to go back to their life on Earth because they have like a wife or a family or something like that, and it's kind of a sweet thing. But I was like, damn, like that would be a really hard choice if somebody was like, I guess if you're like in your like early 20s and someone's like, do you want to like travel to space? You'd be like, you know, you basically become Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. But but it, you know, it would be a difficult decision to make. Obviously, most people would probably choose Earth, but there'd always be that little party that was like, yeah, pretty cool. I want to see what it's like.
Yeah.
Like you get in the spacecraft and immediately they crash into the sun, and you're like, and then there's like text that comes across the screen. They're like, that alien was 3 times over the legal limit.
Yeah. Too much space juice.
Yeah, and Tiger Woods and Justin Timberlake were in the space saucer with you.
Probably.
Where are they opening up that bar? On Glorp Gloop?
Scotland, but yeah, basically.
Yeah, same thing. Whoa. Okay, well, I think that's all of our stories we got today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. We love.
Oh wait, I got another story. Hold on. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Fucker.
Let's go for 4 hours.
And we love you to stick around and fucking listen to them. If you guys want any more information, Camp Strange Podcast at Gmail. Or check out our Instagram at Camp Strange Podcast. Merch, whatever. Fucking share it, rate it, whatever. Boop, boop, beep, boop. David, do you have anything to freaking say before we get the frick out of here?
I mean, the next time you guys will be hearing from us is going to be episode 200.
Episode 200. I guess
I feel like we really gotta
good.
We gotta like bring our A game, which
yeah,
it's a lot to ask for.
Yeah, I feel like I just brought my A game. I don't know if I could match this. Fuck. I'll figure something out.
But yeah, no, I guess we'll see you at 200, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, they always said we'd make no money doing this, and now look at us.
We haven't made any money doing
We
this.
were horribly in debt because of this. All right. Well, David, do you have anything to say before we officially leave? Did I already ask you that?
No. Yes, you asked me. No.
Okay. And don't forget to stay strange.